We are on page 332, just for a bit. These are the words Yedid Nefesh. We talk to God in this very intimate way on Shabbat. You are my heart's delight, my soulmate. So here we go. Page 332 or 636 if you're coming from home in the blue letters. Yedid Nefesh. You ought to take a nice breath in and let it out. It's nice. Here we are, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Cantor Jamie Spall, and it's so nice to have you here tonight and to welcome you also if you're streaming. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue with our singing with part of the Psalm for Shabbat. The Psalm is on page 22. This is Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, but we're going to sing from the very bottom, the indented part, Sadik Katamar Yifrach, which means that the righteous is blooms like a date palm tree. So we think about trees already this week. We're starting to think about trees because Tu B'Shvat is on the horizon this week. So it's Sadik Katamar Yifrach. And Ke'erez Balvono Niske, and like a cedar stands tall, like a cedar of Lebanon. Okay. All right, no, you give it. Here we go. Where are we? G, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So now you're following along. Sadik Katamar. This is written, the music by Louis Lewandowski, a 19th century Jewish composer. So this has some harmony. If you feel like you're feeling it, go ahead and bring some harmony. We're going to do our best. Here we go. And Tzaddik Ata shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Od yenuvun beseva deshenim verananim iyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai Suri, Suri, velo avlatabo. All right, well done. We will continue now bringing in some light, the light of Shabbat, and it is our pleasure to invite up the family of our bar mitzvah, Jonah Awara, to help us in leading the Shabbat blessings and lighting the candles. So I'd like to invite up to join us Shane and Alyssa Awara, with Levi Awara, David and Helene Glass, Michael and Amy Glass, Benjamin Glass, Liana Glass, Susan Awara, Shannon Chang, Juliet Chang, Reese Chang, and of course, Jonah Awara, because you have to be up here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. All right. The blessings are on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue. Here we go. Voila for you. We are on page 5 for the words of Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh zecher lisiyat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. All right. Well done. Well done. Thank you. we continue, as we welcome the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20.
Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, Ya la 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 Likrat Kala, Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela, Lecha Dodi, Ya la 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 Likrat Kala, Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Shemul Tiferet V'Tihila Yai lai lai Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi Ya la 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 Likrat Kala Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Paragraph 2. Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelcha Ki mekor habracha Merosh mikedem Nesucha Sof maaseh Lakshavat tikla Yai lai lai Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi Ya la 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 Likrat Kala Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat
Pnei Shabbat Nekabela.
Paragraph 5, page 21. Hitoreri Kivorech Kumi Ori Shuri Uri Ashir Daberi Kevod Adonai Alayit Nigla Yai lai lai Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi Ya la 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 Likrat Kala Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Believe it shalom Ateret bala Gam besimcha U'b'tona Toch emuneh Am segula Ba'wichala
Lekadodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lekadodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We continue on page 28, 146, with the words of Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Ya, lai, lai, ya, lai, la, lai, yai, lai, ya, lai, 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 yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Ya, lai, lai, ya, lai, la, lai, yai, lai, ya, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, la, lai, lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach le'olam va'ed. We join together in the words, roll into dark, roll into light, and the words are on this cardstock thing. It's number 2 on side A if you have one. It's also really easy if you don't have one.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Yom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Yom v'layla, becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
We read together in the English on page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opening the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the season, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are a creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from night, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch Atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Page 34. And as we're getting ready to recite the Shema, it is my pleasure to invite up next week's Benot Mitzvah, Ellie Friedman and Ali Mestel. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם. אדוני אלוהיהם. אמן.
Girls, you may be seated. We're really into it. We're really in Mitzrayim right now in our weekly Torah portion. We're in Parshat Bo, the last 3 plagues before next week, when the girls are going to chant the words Mi Chamocha from the Torah scroll itself. So we are in it. We're thinking Egypt. And I wanted to say that sometimes when we're in Egypt, we just have to be in Egypt. We have to sit with that. You just have to sometimes sit with Egypt. Take a breath and feel it. Just be there for a bit. Anyway, so that's where we are. Page 40. Who is like you, Adonai, Mi Chamocha? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Adonai, mi kamocha That's good.
Yeah.
That's right. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, יגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. We turn to page 42 for Hashkivenu. Our prayer asking for shelter and peace. So I hope on this Shabbat you feel a sense of security and peace, that you could bring it with you into the weeks to come.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzedkeinu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
We continue with the Shamru on page 44. Also words that come to us from the Torah, talking about this beautiful covenant that we are made with Shabbat at its center. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש. If you are able, I invite you to please rise as we turn to page 46 for the Amidah. We will begin with the words on page 46, this meditation, and then we will continue silently with our own prayers. And when you're finished, you may be seated. For now, let's begin on page 46.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
Page 62 or 180.
Yehiyu lo ratzon imrefi vegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'go'ali
Yehu l'ratzon imrefi vegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable, be acceptable. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. Yehu l'ratzon imrefi vegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable, be acceptable. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. Yehu l'ratzon imrefi vegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali.
Isn't that a beautiful setting? That was written by Fred Rossberry, so give it up. All right. Thank you. Where's Jessica? All right. We have a special guest. I'm delighted to welcome Jessica Jablon to our Bima to speak with us about her important work with Sharsheret. Sharsheret, the Jewish Breast and Ovarian Cancer Community, is a national nonprofit organization that provides free and confidential genetic and mental health counseling, emotional support, financial subsidies, and life-saving education to women, men, and families of all backgrounds facing breast cancer, ovarian cancer, or at elevated hereditary risk. Jessica Jablon is the Sharsheret California Regional Director, overseeing Sharsheret's office in the greater Los Angeles community and all local programmatic efforts throughout California, including outreach, education, partnership, development, and fundraising. So it was with great joy that I welcome you, Jessica, to our Bima. That one? Okay. Here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Cantor Spal, and thank you all for having me here tonight. I want to say Mazel Tov to the Bar Mitzvah family. It's such an exciting time, and I'm really just grateful to have this opportunity to be here with all of you tonight to share it. So when I was looking at this week's Torah portion, Bo, as Cantor Spal mentioned, a few things stuck out to me in relation to Sharsheret. First, the last three of the plagues are brought upon Egypt in this portion. And this seems relevant to Sharsheret because many people think of cancer as a plague. And people often say that they feel enslaved by their cancer treatment. Especially when you talk about the plague of darkness, many people with cancer would consider their diagnosis or their treatment to be a dark period in their lives. Second, let's talk about the unleavened bread for a minute. The Israelites had to change their plans in a hurry, having to settle for matzah as nourishment. And they had to go with the flow and react to the situation at hand. Well, oftentimes, with a cancer diagnosis, things don't go according to plan, and someone finds themselves having to adjust accordingly. And then finally, I thought about how the Israelites are commanded to remember the Exodus every year. And this was particularly interesting to me because we often hear about how even after a cancer treatment ends and survivorship begins, people need to process what they just went through. They remember it, they're reminded of it, sometimes many years later. In fact, sometimes it isn't until this point after treatment that people are able to process their cancer experience because they have spent so much time and energy focused on treatment or simply getting through it, and it doesn't just go away. And as I read more, I thought about what it must have been like to be an Israelite rushing from Egypt, that while it must have been stressful and scary to head out into the unknown, and how even though there were incredible challenges along the way, at least they had each other. They were together. They had a community that could support each other during these tough times. And really, that's the core of Sharsheret, which is Hebrew for chain. We know we are stronger when we're linked together. So you might be thinking that it's a little bit odd to have a representative of a breast and ovarian cancer organization here during Shabbat services to talk about women's health. But the truth is, this is not just a women's issue. It's a Jewish family and a Jewish community issue. And by having me here tonight, Congregation Beth Am is sending a powerful message to your community that you face this issue together. And Sharsheret is right here beside you to offer support. So what exactly is Sharsheret? We are a Jewish nonprofit organization started by a woman whose name was Rochelle Shoretz. She was a young Jewish mother from New Jersey who was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 28, right after she had finished clerking for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the Supreme Court. And when Rochelle was diagnosed, all she wanted was to connect with someone like her who was going through what she was going through. Friends introduced her to another young Jewish mom who was a few months ahead in treatment, and they were the first links in the chain of support. And that's how Sharsheret was born, around Rochelle's kitchen table. And that was over 20 years ago. And today, Sharsheret is a premier national cancer organization with 5 offices across the country, providing emotional cancer support, mental health and genetic counseling, financial subsidies, and life-saving education to over 250,000 women, families, healthcare professionals, community leaders, and students of all backgrounds. Sharsheret's mission is to improve the lives of all women and families at all stages or at increased genetic risk for breast or ovarian cancer through personalized support and educational outreach. We share resources so that they can make informed decisions about their health and treatment. We also help the next generation by working with students on high school or college campuses to understand their risk and learn their family's health history. We mail care packages to help people deal with the non-medical side effects of treatment, cosmetic kits, busy box toy kits for families with young children, Thriving Again kits for those in survivorship, caregiver packets for those helping loved ones, and more. And all of our support services are free, confidential, and open to everyone. Nobody should feel alone. Our support is and always has been virtual, phone, email, snail mail. We really didn't change much with COVID. The one thing that we did change was we used to do about 4 webinars a year, and now we're averaging about 60 a year. So we have a vast library of webinars that can be found on our website, along with upcoming virtual programs. Sharsheret also educates community leaders and healthcare professionals about the unique issues for Jewish women facing cancer so that they can better care for their patients. Now, you might be asking, why do we need a Jewish breast and ovarian cancer organization? 1 in 40 Ashkenazi Jews carries a BRCA gene mutation in comparison with 1 in 400 in the general population. That's 10 times the average rate, making members in our community significantly more susceptible to hereditary breast cancer. Since both men and women are carriers of this dominant genetic mutation, there is a 50% chance that a carrier will pass it down to their children. And there's other genetic mutations to be aware of, such as ATM, CHEK2, PALB2, and those associated with Lynch syndrome, just to name a few. Being a carrier of these or a BRCA1 or 2 mutation could put you at increased risk for cancers including breast, ovarian, male breast, prostate, pancreatic, colon, uterine, and melanoma cancers. So I just want to stress to everyone, especially those of Ashkenazi Jewish descent, how important it is to know your family health history for men and women. Ask your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, any living relative, are there cancers in the family? And while you're at it, make sure you're having the conversation about your entire family medical history. Mental health issues like depression, high cholesterol, heart disease, at what age and at what kind? And I encourage you to share this information with your children when they're at an appropriate age so that they can be informed when speaking with their doctors. Sharing this information in families can be life-saving. And if you have questions about your own family health history and what to make of the information you gather, Sharsheret has a genetic counselor on staff who can help you. In fact, she'll even do family conference calls, which I think is a really neat resource that we offer. So now let's think back to biblical times for a second. While wandering in the desert, the Israelites didn't know what was coming around the corner. And much to my chagrin as a bit of a control freak, in present times, neither do we. But knowing your family health history can be empowering. It can inform your medical care and truly make a difference in your life and the lives of future generations. Now, only 10 to 15% of breast and ovarian cancer is hereditary. So it's imperative to remember that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and about 1 in 72 will be diagnosed with ovarian cancer in her lifetime, regardless of their genetics. This means that all of us should be paying close attention to our bodies, commit to a screening plan that's right for you, and make healthy choices in our daily lives. Eating healthy, moving more, and reducing stress are all essential to reducing risk. And I know that this is easier said than done. I'm a mom of 3, and I get it. Life is very hectic. And for some reason, when you're busy taking care of everyone else, the harder it can be to take care of yourself. So I'm here to remind you to talk to your doctors and get appropriate screenings. I'm here to talk about the importance of knowing your body and being your best advocate when it comes to your health. And I'm here to propose that you prioritize your health and don't put off taking care of yourself. If you're of the age where you need a mammogram or someone in your life is, please get that scheduled. We know how easy it is to put off appointments, but whether it's your mammogram, your annual physical, or a genetics consultation, please make sure you're staying on top of your own health. Now, Sharsheret is not a substitute for medical advice or treatment, and it shouldn't be used to diagnose or treat a health problem, right? And we always recommend seeking the advice of your physician or qualified health provider. But if something doesn't look or feel right, don't put off calling your doctor. It really could save your life. So my wish for you is that none of you should ever need Sharsheret services, but you are all now Sharsheret ambassadors, a links in our chain. And when someone you know is diagnosed or at increased risk, you can share Sharsheret with them and make sure that they don't feel alone. Shabbat shalom.
Jessica, thank you so much for bringing that important message to our congregation. Really, thank you. So, the turn to words of healing. And this week, we are praying for the return to health of Ginny Anderson, Mark Cohen, Abigail Covert, Diane Denenberg, John Devine, Toby Ellman, Susan Farber, Nancy Fogel, Marty Gelman, Selena Glader, Barbara Heiken, Moritz Huppert, Linda Lee Korn, Aaron Levinson, Sophia Palisban, Harvey Rabin, Bobby Rosenkrantz, Marvin Schwartz, David Baruch Ben Simona, and Julie Sutcliffe. If you are thinking of somebody and praying for their return to health, I invite you to say their name now. Healer of the brokenhearted, binder of their wounds, counter of uncountable stars, you know who they are. ומחבש לעצבותם מונה מספר לכוכבים לכולם שמות יקרא הללויה A prayer for Israeli soldiers or civilians being held captive. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. And as the psalmist said, then they shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. We continue with Aleinu, our concluding prayers, Aleinu and Kaddish, on page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו seated. All right. A couple announcements about this month's tzedakah box. Some of you were with us on Sunday as we packed up 23,000 meals with Rise Against Hunger. It was spectacular. So, Rise Against Hunger is our January tzedakah box, and this is the information. 828 million people in the world suffer from hunger and malnutrition. That's 2.5 times the U.S. That's 2.5 times the U.S. population. My God, the United Nations has set a goal of zero hunger by 2030, and we need everyone's help. So our tzedakah box is going to support that effort. We hope you can contribute and volunteer. Well, that was from last week, but learn more about Rise Against Hunger at riseagainsthunger.org. And you could make a donation by putting, if you carry money on Shabbat and you'd like to contribute, we have a big standing tzedakah box in our foyer. You might not recognize it. It looks like a kiosk. It's actually like a standing, triangle thing. Or you can make a donation. You could make a donation through sending a check to our synagogue and put tzedakah box, Rise Against Hunger or you could Venmo us at Beth-Am. Yeah, so that's for that. All right, our thoughts turn to our prayer of memory. If I say the name of your loved one, I invite you to stand in their honor and memory. This week, we note the recent passing of Marshall Schrago, father of Henry Schrago, uncle of Rabbi Heath and Amy Wattenmaker, and great uncle of Elon and Kayla. We remember Carlton Lewis Johnson, father of Carlin Johnson Pulitzer, and Ben Pulitzer, and grandfather of Maya and Ethan Pulitzer. We remember, who died this week, Eleanor Jacob Kaufman, the aunt of Dan Siegel and Lisa Langer, and the great aunt of Jacob and Ben Siegel, And we're also remembering Jack Rosenblum, the uncle of Peter and Arlene Rosenblum, and the great uncle of Tina Rosenblum and Jay Jennings, and the great great uncle of Matthew Jennings. We are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Claire Isaacs Warhaftig, John Stevens, Nat Rubin, and Seymour Abraham. If you are observing the first year of mourning, I invite you to stand now and say the name of the person you're remembering. This week, we observe the yard site of Lorraine Apfelberg, Lois Aronson, Laser Ballin, David Beckman, Sarisa Sally Benjamin, Mr. Edward Branston, Sandra Breslauer, Victor Brill, Adrian Lee Brookstone, Leo Cohan, Bob Cutler, Donald Engel, Dr. Irving Feinstein, Kahana Finkel, Donald Flaxman, Yvonne Frackman, Victor Friedman, Rachel Futterwhite, Mildred Nordgarber, Fanny Glassberg, Isaac Goretsky, Eve Greenfield, Helen R. Greenstein, Laddie Gross, Ruth Gutterman, Mark Hauser, John Jacob Highmark, Teddy Jacoby, Peter Jacoby, Tilly Kahn, William P. Carlin, Lydia Kemel, Kenyon Kirk, Maria Krivoshe, Moshe Kurz, Sophia Levy, Reuben Levy, Norma Levy, Mark Lomberg, Jack Laurel, Jack Martyr, Phyllis Margulies, Rita Marks, Irvin Mintz, Rachel Morad, Harold Muckamal, Ricky Normington, Bernard Oremland, David Plout, Evgenia Plotkina, Harold Rabkin, John Rado, Murray Regensberger, Arnold Marvin Richter, Leon Roskoff, Lillian Salter, Lillian Sarver, Francis Schaffner, Michael Shapiro, Sherman Shore, Bertha Siegel, Jack Siegel, Caroline Sinclair, Miriam Snyder, Ralph Stitch, Norma Sturp, Ilya Vilensky, Jody Weber, Elsie Weiner, Linda Williams, and Mikhail Zeidenberg. If you are remembering somebody and you'd like to say their name out loud, please stand and say. Words of Kaddish are found on page 294. I invite everyone to please stand. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divarach Yirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. All right, and so that leaves us with a closing song. This is my fave. So, they leave me alone, I get to pick the closing song. Actually, I get to pick it anyway. I get to pick it no matter what. I'm so lucky. All right, so we're going to sing my favorite version of Adon Olam, and the words are found on page. Hold on, let me find it for you. I think I'm close. It's on page 321 or 625. What did I say? It's in D minor. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the first verse, the first two chunks, and then the last. Adon olam asher malach hay didi dai beterem kol yetzir nivra hay didi dai liet nasav v'chefzo kol hay dai hay zay melech shemo nikra hay dai ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora vehu haya vehu over vehu yebetifara hay dai Adon olam asher malach hay didi dai beterem kol yetzir nivra hay didi dai liet nasav v'chefzo kol hay dai zay melech shemo nikra hay dai the last paragraph ve'yadu avchid ruchi beit ishon ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira Adon olam asher malach hay didi dai beterem kol yetzir nivra hay didi dai liet nasav v'chefzo kol hay dai zay melech shemo nikra hay dai Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Fred, Barry, and Ken. This was so much fun. I'd like to invite up Jonah, and why don't you bring your cousins with you for Hamotzi? So here we come. As a friend of mine used to love to say, he would say, voila, chala. All right, voila. Okay, Levi, you want to come up too? Are you feeling left out? Come on, Levi comes too. All right, you guys want to hold the plate with me? All right, let's wait till your other one comes. All right, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Take some.
Sure.